Hello and welcome to a special bonus episode of Wholala, where we are welcoming back an utter legend to the pod. Now, you may remember her as the iconic vocalist behind Janis Goblin, and now she's back on our screens, in the flesh as Liz Lizardine in the Interstellar Song Contest. Please welcome back to the pod, Christina Rotondo! Woo-hoo! Welcome back!
Oh my God, thank you for having me. Absolute pleasure.
Oh, not at all.
How have you been?
Yeah, really, really good. Just doing the Liz Lizardine things, you know. Excited to give you all the goss and all the behind the scenes and all the stuff about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh
how's the Goblin King doing? Is he recovering well? Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Better?
Eating many babies, I think. Yeah.
Oh, good. We were worried
Too
about
many
him.
babies. I have been thinking about the Goblin King, but I'm not gonna lie. The second it was in this really weird moment. I was at ironically a Doctor Who quiz, and a friend of mine came up to me and was like, this was a month or so ago, and was like, a friend of yours is on the new season. And I was like, what do you mean a friend of mine? They've been on your podcast. I was like, okay, who's going to be in the new season? And they opened Doctor Who magazine and pointed at your name. And I was like, Christina! And I texted you immediately and I was like, what do you mean you're on the new season?
It's so funny because I didn't even know that was going to be a thing. And then like suddenly I started getting messages and I was like, oh my God, people know. And I was like, wait, I guess I can technically post about it now. So yeah. I didn't even know that they were going to print that. So that's, that's fun.
Oh.
It's nice they gave you a heads up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, loves it.
nice to
There's me like panicking, like, guys, what can I post and when? And they're like, Christina, don't say a single word until the episode goes out. And I'm like, well, someone else said something before, guys. So
literally, and there was that moment of panic. I think I said to you about, it, and you were like, "How did you find out? Who told you?"
Like, technically, I can neither confirm nor deny.
However, I'm just gonna sit back and let episode 6 roll out.
Absolutely, yeah. I found, when did I can't remember when I sent them an email about a month before, and I was like, guys, when is this actually coming out? Because I was like, I need to have it in my diary. And luckily it came out the week before I came back on a trip. Well, the week that we came back. So we came back on, I think, the Thursday or the Friday. The episode was on the Saturday. So I'm glad I was in UK time zones. Otherwise I would have been like, oh my God. And I wanted to watch it as well. So, you know.
For sure. I mean, this is huge because obviously, like, you're no stranger to the Whoniverse at all now, but it must be so different being there, like, on set, like, having filmed the episode.
Yes, 100%, because obviously, I mean, I think we briefly touched on this last time, but, you know, I wasn't really dealing with anyone directly when I did the session work, which was obviously remote in my studio, which is in my room, which is over there. So I didn't speak to anyone. It was a audio company that got hired by Doctor Who, and so it was that audio company that I was dealing with basically. So this time it was really nice because I actually got to like meet all the Bad Wolf crew. Like we had so many meetings beforehand, like all different parts of the department. Got to meet Rusty, got to meet Ben, the producer. Like so, yeah, totally different experience, but so fun.
Oh, I love it. How has your year of Doctor Who fame been since we last spoke? How has the reaction to Janis Goblin been?
It's funny because it's like been like pretty consistent, I would say. Like all of like the Who fans who've kind of like, it's so funny, like on like some of my original work and stuff, or my original music, I get people being like, came for Janis, stayed for the alt rock, like, or like people are like, yes. Oh my God, it's so funny, like I followed her because she's like, they'll leave like a comment on like a music video and they'll be like, it's so funny because I found out she sang on Doctor Who and actually it turns out she's like some kick-ass alternative rock bands. I'm like, yeah, that's me, guys.
Yes.
That's me. That's amazing. It's so funny because like I feel like Doctor Who will open doors to like performers and actors and people that are involved in the show that like certain people they just would never have found these people.
Yeah.
And every so often they do just find a kick-ass vocalist and they're like, thank God for Janis.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's heaps of fun and everyone seems like I said last time, like really welcoming, really friendly and stuff. So it's super nice. And you know, even a lot of the crew were saying like they're like, oh, you know, part of the family now. So it definitely feels like a little thing.
That's nice.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're making your way everywhere. I don't know if you know this. They did cinema screenings for the finale last year and they're doing it again this year.
Okay, right.
And they had a really big screening at the IMAX in Waterloo, like that huge screen.
Yes.
And they'd like to amp up the crowd. They did this quiz, and one of the questions was, who was the vocalist behind Janis Goblin? And you were the answer to a quiz in the IMAX.
Oh, I had no idea. I love that.
Yeah.
It was so, and you best believe it was me and Alasdair that answered that question.
Oh my God. It was so aggressive.
Oh,
it was so aggressive.
I feel like I have to say, if there are any London events and you're like, we know Janis, can we get her to come down? I would just be there for the funsies. So I'll be there with you guys next time.
I am going to try so hard to get you linked up with the Gallifrey Cabaret people. You know that I've sung their praises to you before. The people listening know I sing their praises. I'm going to do everything I can to pull these together because
we've got to win you in.
Oh my God.
We've got to win you in. We'll get you in.
It was funny. It was Frank Skinner asking this question. And we were on the other side of the room, and our hands just like shot up, and then we like shouted, "Christina Rotondo!" If anything, we shouted it too loud, and it was a bit weird because everyone else
was very well behaved, and we just got very excited. And you've been to Comic-Cons now because after being on the show, you went. When was it? It was last year. You went to Comic-Con, right?
Yes, I think pretty much to this day. I think it was either yesterday or today. Yeah, 25th, I think, of May it was. So I did Comic-Con London last year. I did have a few offers for others. However, like, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know if this is like, I don't really know. So to give you some context on the convention standpoint. So obviously, and I said this to loads of people at the convention, like I'm a musician, that's where my background is. And I know that musician and actor standpoint at conventions and voiceover artists are very different. So as a musician, like, we typically, especially in the genre that I come from, like alternative rock, it's very anti like pay for experiences. So, you know, pay for signatures and things like that. VIP, it's kind of almost a little bit frowned upon. Whereas in the acting world, like, you know, that's very normal because that's how they meet their favorite voice actors and things like that, or like, you know, meet people that have been in shows that they wouldn't normally get that opportunity to. But I did have a few other opportunities, and I just sort of said no because I really didn't know how to almost like market myself. Like I didn't really have anything. And, you know, MCM was awesome. I did an interview with the amazing Chaz, and I can't remember her name, but I had two fantastic hosts. It's on my social media somewhere. They were awesome. Did an interview, then I did a little panel with them, and then I did signings, and I was surprised at how many people came. However, I didn't charge for any of the signings, and you know, just because like I didn't really know what the norm was. I didn't have, like, literally there were guys, like voiceover actors coming in with like these giant suitcases, and I'm just there like, I have nothing, not even a pen. And I was just like, hi guys. So, you know, it was really chilled out, really relaxed. And, you know, I would like to do more in the future, but I didn't feel like properly equipped, and no one really tells you how it works. So I felt a bit out of my depth a little bit.
It's a really weird situation. Like, I've not been to too many conventions myself, but it does feel really like some people come super organized, and then some people just kind of come for the chat and for chill. Funnily enough, and I don't mean to keep plugging the Gallifrey Cabaret, it's this cabaret show, and at their Christmas show, a lot of Bad Wolf turned up, and Russell T Davies was there, Camille Kaduri, a lot of the production team, and they kind of ended up doing this impromptu photo op moment. And I have to say, it was almost like better than an experience that I've had at conventions before, because it didn't have that level of like, I don't know whether it's like authority or organization, or there wasn't like a paywall between meeting somebody that you really respect their work and just enjoying a show together. And I don't know how you found it, Alice, but it was just it made it a lot more casual in a way that I think everyone really enjoyed.
Yes, I think so.
I think it being really casual from my perspective. I don't know how you guys felt, but like as like going to meet people that you would love to chat to, but like I think I prefer the more casual, especially for someone that's very new to it as well. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it was a funny one because you kind of then had like Camille Kaduri, Jackie Tyler, and I was kind of like, are you sure you're happy to take a picture? Are you sure you don't want to take a break from this queue of gay people who've been following you around? She was like, no, it's fine. So she was cool with it, and then she stayed around afterwards as well, and she was happy. But yeah, Comic-Cons, they can be quite overwhelming as well, I think. Like, even as
overwhelming is a great word to describe it.
As an attendee, I get stressed, I think, just by the volume of people. And those places are warm as well. And if you're in a costume of any kind, you are warm.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, props to them.
How did the return to the Whoniverse come about?
So it started actually quite soon after you guys would have experienced the Goblin song. So I think it was either January or February of 2024, and I had an email from the person that orchestrated the Goblin song, and they said, "Hey, Christina, Vicky Dillo has got something. She's the producer of Doctor Who, and she's got something that she wants to run by you." And then I got CC'd into an email chain, and I was like, "Yeah, cool." And like, what are you kind of thinking of? And they were like, "Well, we've got this character that we need to sing." And at that point I kind of knew briefly what it was. They told me that it was about the Interstellar Song Contest, and it's so funny looking back. Like, I always laugh when I think about this. I've actually got two really funny stories. When I was first having the conversation, she was like, yes, we've got this part, and she would sing in the Interstellar Song Contest. She's a lizard. And I was like, great, sounds awesome. And then I was like, so how would this work? I was like, do you want me to sing, and then you would hire an actress to like follow my likeness, and I would kind of just advise you on like movements or like how I would? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, great, fabulous. And then like we get closer and closer to the date, and I'm like, oh, they actually want me to act in this, like I am the actor. Okay, understood. And I was like, and I said yes to everything, because I was like, obviously I'm going to say yes to everything. And she's like, yeah, it might require like flying on wires. Yeah, they were like, it will require flying on wires at some point. And I was like, fine, throw me in them, not a problem.
Yes.
I feel like you would have gone to me like, I need to ride a horse. Yeah, sure, I can ride a horse. And like you would have just said yes to
anything you want, I'll do it.
I'll speak French. I'll ride a horse.
Would
I'll
have
do
learned anything. Absolutely.
I'll do a backflip.
And then the funny story. So, oh my God, it's so cringy, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Obviously, I am not in the acting world. Didn't really know what I was expecting. Didn't know what I was going to be asked of, but I was like, yes, I'll do it, no problem. So I reached out to my friend Tom, who he's a great voice actor, and he's done voice acting on Baldur's Gate. And I met him years ago when we did Guitar Hero together. So I messaged him immediately, and I was like, Tom, I need your advice on something. Can you I've just had this like offer from Doctor Who, and it's really exciting, but I was like, I'm out of my depth and I don't know, can you just check things for me just to make sure that I'm asking the right questions? Is there anything I should know? He's like, yeah, no problem. We had a phone conversation. He was lovely about it. And I was like, great, fabulous. And then I go to reply to Vicky, and we're exchanging a few emails. And then I take what Vicky has said and I send it to Tom. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Can you just check it for me? And I didn't send it to Tom. I sent it back to Vicky. And I was like, yes. Oh my God. I literally ran downstairs in like a panic. And I said to my partner, I was like, I've lost it. I was like, do you know what? And then I calmed myself down, and I was like, do you know what? I was like, if I have lost it, it's fine, because what is meant to be will be. And I was like, I'm new to this world, and I'm just checking things. And I was like, you know what? If I've made a fool of myself enough for them to go, yeah, goodbye, Christina, I was like, it's fine. I was like, I own up to my mistake.
Oh,
bless you.
What it is. But obviously, they were absolutely deliciously wonderful and glorious. And she was just like, did what I say made sense? And I was like, yes, it did. I was just thinking I'm so sorry. I was like, I just needed to check some things, but I was like, of course it did. I was like, I was just like, double checking. But yeah, they were fabulous. They were so lovely.
That is exactly the kind of thing I would have done. Except I probably would have just replied back and been like, actually, you know what? I'm rescinding myself. I would have taken myself out. So good for you.
I'm dropping out. You can save the wire. You don't need it anymore. I'm not going to be there. Don't worry about it.
Oh my
You're
God.
Good.
Well,
I gotta say, I think I'd seen Vicky do commentaries before, and she seems like a sweetie, and so I'm not surprised. But they're just like, oh, I'm sorry, but were you confused? And like, I was confused, but it's fine. It's not your fault.
But it's okay. I know everything now. Yeah, no, they were so awesome. They were throughout the whole experience. Like, I think they knew that like I didn't really. I was kind of like learning as I was going along, and so they were there to like hold my hand through it all. So that was really lovely. Like they always made me feel at home, so that was super lovely.
Oh,
brilliant.
I'm glad. Well, this is the thing, because an opportunity like this opens itself to so many like doors that you've not been through. Prosthetics, working with prosthetics, that must have been bananas.
Oh my God, yeah, that was crazy. Obviously, like I kind of knew roughly, like, you know, people were saying to me, you know, how long this is going to take. And I was like, yeah, it's fine, no problem. And to be fair, like what I thought happened did happen. So I kind of knew that, like, you know, I was told that like our call time would be really early in the morning, but I also knew that the adrenaline would take over. And so I wasn't really tired. Like I woke up at like 4 a.m., but I was, like 3 a.m. or something. And I was like, it's fine. And, you know, my SFX girls, they were gorgeous, they were amazing. They was just so lovely to work with. I had all of the fun. I actually have a time lapse of the SFX process. I just haven't edited it yet, so I need to put that online, so thank you for the reminder.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't
you
wait
must.
to see it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a whole process. There are so many like little things, and obviously like I normally have so many earrings and stuff, and we took all them out, and all my piercings came out, and then we had to deal with the tattoos as well because they were all up my legs, and all up my arms, and everything. So you know we had to work out how to cover all of those. So yeah.
Yeah. How did you feel performing when you're in prosthetics? Did you feel any more confident, kind of like behind the mask of a new character?
100%. You kind of feel like no one can really see who you are, which is fabulous. The only negative to it is that obviously like the whole idea was that I was a performer like in the show, so I wanted to use my performance skill or history doing that and apply it to Liz, but you know, and I didn't really think about this until they kind of mentioned it on set, but they were like, you know, you can't really see your facial expressions, so normally where I would be like, you know, I mean I'm quite you know, I use my hands a lot anyway when I sing, and my face as well, like, you know, when I'm belting there's a good scrunch and stuff and a big like, you know, performance, but I kind of was really pushing that so much because you just couldn't really see it from the prosthetics because there was all this stuff on your face. And then I also had my lenses in. So I had like an on-site eye specialist, like, you know, making sure that I could see the stage and I wouldn't fall off anywhere. So there were lots of things to think about, which was probably a good thing that I didn't think about them before I went on stage, because I think if I'd have considered everything, my mind would have literally been like a ticking time bomb. Yeah, absolutely spiraling. And so I was just like, you're doing a performance, it's a music video, just act as if it's a music video.
There you go. Literally. It's so funny because they released a trailer. Obviously, I didn't know that you were in it, but at the time they released a trailer for the season and your character was in that trailer having this big like belting moment. And then when I heard you in it, I was going through and I was trying to work out if you were in the trailer, and I couldn't for the life of me have told you that was you. Like, it fully transformed you.
It's so funny because I think a lot of other people said that, because I think I shared the trailer and people were like, where are you? And I was like, it's so obvious. Like to me, my facial is so clear because, like, you know, like I can just see the shape of my face and I can see my eyes, but no one else knew it was me.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
What do you mean? It's Liz Lizardine. Of course it's me. Can you not tell?
And I can't think of any other character where you'd have a costume like that unless you're performing in something like the Interstellar Song Contest. It was amazing.
Oh my God. It was, I was looking at all of the different drawings that they had and the inspiration. They'd taken like inspiration from like real like animals, lizards, different like reptiles. They were like, oh, we love this coloring, we love that. And the corset, oh my God, the corset was so cool. It was like
that was
all
awesome.
of those tiny individual
like scale things, right?
They were all like individually like hand, like I believe I think they were hand sewed on, and they were I remember talking to the costume girl and like the amount of hours that she was like, you know, I've been sewing this for hours, and it was so cool. And then like all of like the multicolor skirt, that was awesome. I was just like, guys, I was like, cool. Yeah, I loved it.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's bananas the amount of work that goes into it. And like, this is why I'm so glad they have shows like Unleashed, the behind the scenes show, because then you actually get moments to see because all of these characters are, you know, serving the purpose of the story and just seeing them within the narrative. But it's not until you stop and actually look at photos or like watch interviews of where you can see the work and the hours, the time that goes into these things.
I think this is something that I realized when I was on set and when I was like filming with people and just chatting to the crew, because I was like, you know, realistically, I'm going to be such a small part of this. And then I was like, if you apply that to every single piece of production, every single set, every single you know, there were like four or five people doing my, you know, sourcing the boots, sourcing the corset, getting the girl to make the corset. And I was like, if you apply that to every single piece of detail, and you just like, you know, it's absolutely mental to think of, isn't it, about the amount of man hours and, you know, work that goes into all of this.
Yeah, completely. I think costumes is always somewhere really, really shows, doesn't it, when you actually get the behind the scenes of that. Speaking of Unleashed as well, like we spotted you in Unleashed, which was nice. They got you for the behind the scenes, and I saw that they had you have a little chat with Russell as well, which was nice.
I didn't know you were filming that, actually.
Oh,
really?
Lovely.
Yeah.
How was that moment? Were you feeling starstruck? Had you met before?
I hadn't met him before, and I think I heard someone be like, "Oh, Russell's coming on set today. Russell's coming on set," and I was like, "Oh, cool." But I was just kind of like in like lens mode, so like when I had like my lenses on, like I couldn't really see much anyway. And then he was just there. And do you know what? Like I actually think I acted like such a cool cucumber.
You did.
Thank you. Maybe that's, you know, not having grown up watching Doctor Who, because I was able to channel my inner cool Christina. But he was so lovely to speak to. Again, like just like really chill. Like it was, you know, it was just like chatting to a friend. It was so nice.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm really pleased. It was nice to see you there. It's lovely to see Janis Goblin in the flesh in the spotlight at last. That's what was nice too.
Yeah.
We've been on like a little spotter's guide recently, because obviously you were in that episode, and in the last episode Alasdair's sister was actually one of the extras in the episode, and we were watching Unleashed and we were like, that's her. So we've been like spotting people recently.
She wasn't in that one. She's in the next episode where she is in the background as an extra, and then she's a hand double for one of the main characters.
Oh my god, I love that.
And I knew a long time ago that she was a hand double. So she like had a whole day. Again, like this comes down to the thing about detail, right? That's so shocking. Just to tap an iPad with her hand, she has to get her costume fitted. She has to spend like a whole like 3 hours on set. They filmed this hand tapping an iPad like 10, 15 times, different angles. She had to send photos of her hands, obviously. Like, you know, it's crazy. Like the things you just wouldn't even think twice about, that it's even someone else's hand in the shot. But production, that's TV. That's TV.
That's TV. I mean, it's one of the things where like people are doing their job well if you're not paying attention to all the work that's gone into it, because it's meant to be this real world. Absolutely. It's so funny. Speaking of all the work that goes into it, I have to ask, I love you, but my heart says no. Does the full version exist anywhere? We need to know.
No, do you know what? Okay, I'm sad to bring you the news that it doesn't. However, I have asked for permission to do a cover of it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get, that's going to be like a yes. In theory, though, I could probably do one anyway, because, you know, if someone out there was to make an instrumental, it would still just be an interpretive cover. They would just be happening to know Liz herself. So if anyone listening out there has the abilities to make an instrumental, I could give you like a rundown of what I think it should sound like, and we could team up and we could we could make the end of the song, and then we could just make our own version.
I'm not gonna lie, there are people listening to this pod who do pull from an episode of Doctor Who and make their musical interpretation of what they think the track should sound like. The people listening, I think you know who you are. Please reach out to us and we will link you two up, because I need that the little bit at the beginning of your song before you get so rudely interrupted by that bubble sucking you all up to die. I was there. I was like, I was ready to listen to the rest of it.
And it's like it's such like a heartfelt, like it's like a heartthrob anthem-y kind of song. Like, so like romantic. And I was like, guys, you're missing out like the best, like when Kid is you know, tapping away and making all the bad things happen, I was like, you are missing out this banging pre-chorus. Like, can we go back to the song, guys? So I've got so much, and I still remember all of the words, so you know, we'll have to make it happen.
Yes.
Oh my god, please. I'm gonna do all my little production coordinator orchestrating that I can to make that happen, because I just want to hear. I had the same thing where they cut away from you to go see Kid in the Control room. I was like, no, go back. Go back. No. Go back.
I actually was wondering if at the end of the song they would go and show us a little bit more of the song, but we only filmed like a specific amount of it. So yeah.
Was the whole thing written? Is there like a full length set of lyrics, or was it only ever written as like a little bit of the song?
I believe, if I remember correctly, I think it's it's a verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So we have the first half of the song.
But there we are. Like, you can't even, if you finish the song, it's your song. It's an original.
And I think the people want to hear it on Spotify. So I think
I
it
love
just
that.
needs to happen.
Of all the songs that Murray Gold has released in the last, I mean, since 2017, he's released one song. And that song is the Goblin song. That's the only song that's come out.
Honestly, it's such a good. I've still got people that are like, I still listen to it nowadays, and I'm just like, girl, it's a bop. I don't blame you.
I'm not gonna lie. It came out in December, and I know somebody who might be listening to this podcast who it was in their like top wrapped on Spotify.
That's phenomenal.
I was like, that's fantastic.
I hear a snippet from it and I get nostalgic for that time. And I'm just like, oh, Goblin song, like all the excitement of that new series, Christmas time. Like, for me, it's actually like a happy song. It's so funny.
It's just full of fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun song.
I can't remember if I've messaged you this before, Christina, but me and Alice went on holiday away together last year, and a friend who was there had a baby, and the baby was like crying and murmuring, and then me, Alistair, and Alice's partner were all around this baby, rocking its pushchair, singing the Goblin song to try. And I'll tell you this, it stopped crying. Yeah.
It works. There's something in those lyrics.
Incredible.
About eating babies.
Babies love it.
I was going to ask, now I know there's only half song. I wanted to ask, do you have a favourite song? But I feel like I probably know what the answer is. Maybe not. I don't know.
Do you know what? Like, I remember when, like, I actually really do enjoy. Okay, so I think for nostalgic reasons, and like it being the first song, like Goblin song is it has to be right up there, doesn't it? For like the experience. Yeah. However, from a vocal perspective, Liz's song is awesome because it's just so like, I don't know, like it's almost like when I did the Goblin song, it was just sing it however and just, you know, do your thing, great, which is fabulous. But with Liz's song, like it's almost like, you know how sometimes like when you listen to a song, when you listen to the lyrics of a song, and people, like as a session vocalist, people always go, I want you to be really emotional about the song, and I'm like, I'm singing a song, let's calm down a second. But you know, these lyrics, like, you know, I knew it was going to be this epic moment, and I knew there was going to be a fabulous stage and all of the lights would be synced. And when, you know, Ben was talking me through it, he was like, I really want you to feel like it's like, you know, a love that's lost kind of thing. And so like there are lots of like vocal techniques that I kind of use to almost like channel my inner, like, you know, I'm not saying that I sound anything like her, but channel my inner technique of like Celine Dion, like, you know, very much my heart will go on because there's all this belting, and then I've got the I saw you, do you know what I mean? Like it's very like I don't know how to describe it, but like basically like you're singing, but you're also like you're trying to get like the emotion through sounds.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what Eurovision's all about as well. Like that inspiration. It's you got to get the melodrama in there too. If you do a proper ballad, yeah.
I can see this inspiration. I can see it.
Yeah, I'm not just crazy then. Good.
No, you're not. Inspired. Wonderful reference. So if you were to ever come back to the Whoniverse, if they greenlight season 3, and they say again, Christina, we need you one more time.
My goodness. 1 more, 10 more, please.
We need you back as a regular. Okay,
that's what
and
we
your
want.
character it's central to the next season. What are you hoping to be this time? You've been a goblin and you've been a lizard.
I feel like there has to be something that would make sense, that there's a lot of like musical numbers in it, like for example like some kind of character that means that like it can just reappear in like a musical segment at any point. So I don't know, we need to think of like a cute musical character here, something that's like wacky enough for Doctor Who. I feel like I'm not gonna lie, my head instantly goes to like some kind of alien. Like I know that's kind of like similar to like Liz, but like I feel like it has to be something that is just permanently in the aether that could like burst out into song at any point, to be honest.
An intergalactic pop star.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, okay, so there were these 2 girls who were extras in the show, and they were these fabulous purple aliens, and they basically looked like a cross between an alien and a mermaid. They had this gorgeous like long purple hair, purple face paint, and the thing that I was most impressed about is they had this gorgeous like like fabulous eyeliner, like glitter everywhere. And I was like, I don't know what you are, but I want to be you guys. Like,
I wanna be you.
that would be awesome.
So the pop mermaid is the goal. Pop alien mermaid.
Galactic mermaid, maybe. Yeah.
Who can
I could see
return
that.
and sing often with a collection of songs at a time.
Yes. And I feel like we need to give the people what they want, and that would be like an EP or an album.
Yes.
You're preaching to the choir here.
I'm
You're
so
preaching
into
to the
it.
choir.
I love this. I'm actually drafting the email to Vicky right now. I'm trying not to attach any previous texts at the same time.
Alternatively, I feel like because the Goblins are a part of a band, I think we touched on this before, but we're going to bring it back because manifestation. I feel like the Goblin band could write an EP that would smash.
See, this is what I want. I want Janis Goblin to duet with Liz Lizardine, and then the new alien purple mermaid character, and then just be like the Space Dream Girls. Like that's what I want.
Yes.
Yes. The Space Dream Girls. That sounds fabulous. Yes.
I can see it.
I think we like round off the finale. You know, like in like the movies you used to watch when you were a kid, like the credits roll and then on the side there's kind of like a little something to keep you watching, and it's like kind of what they do now in the mid credits, but it used to just play throughout. I think we have that right alongside the slow roll of the credits for the end of the season, and it's just us seeing that Janis Goblin survived.
Yeah.
Her and a few bandmates have made it, and they're just whacking out kind of pop covers. I don't know where they live, don't know where they are, but they're still going. They're good.
I know that this is like a semi-joke, but I genuinely believe that Janis Goblin and her bandmates are somewhere, and I really think this would be a fabulous idea.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm fully not just trying to gas you up. I would buy that. Like, I want to listen to that EP.
I feel like if that was a spin-off, I feel like people would be so into it. And I'm not just saying that because I am Janis.
No, truly, you're not.
I love it.
I can just see it now. I honestly am visualizing this EP, and I'm like, right, how would I brand it? I'm like,
Right.
Murray, get here. You've got to write this for me. We're going to bring you, and you're going to be writing with them too. Like, let's do it. We're putting it out.
Oh,
Yeah, put it out into the universe. Manifestation.
You've got to put it into the universe, and also I think we need the listeners to help us curate a list of what is on the EP and what's being covered. And I think I want to hear those submissions. We'll put those to you.
Oh my God, yes. I can't wait.
We'll do it. Well, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. It honestly means so much whenever we get the chance to chat with you. What else are you working on lately? Do you have anything to plug? Where can the listeners find you?
So Instagram at Christina RTND is probably the like one that I'm consistent on the most. I do lots of like covers and stuff. Like it's festival season, and I tend to like work with Download Festival, so just lots of covers and fun stuff. Actually, I technically don't have it to plug right now. However, for the last few years I've been really wanting to do original like music work, which I do with a band, but I mean like literally just Christina on her own. And I already have a demo waiting in my inbox. I've just not had a chance to check it out yet. So, but you know, that is something that I'm definitely going to be pushing like in the next year, like just focusing on like writing literally pure, just Christina Rotondo, finding my sound, you know, because I session for a lot of other people and I love doing that. Don't get me wrong. However, I do believe that as much as I put in for other people's music, you know, I've got my own artist identity and I would love to put a bit of work into that as well. So hopefully in the next year or so, there'll be stuff there. But, you know, Christina RTND on TikTok or Instagram is probably the easiest place to find me. Yeah. And I'm always happy to chat. Janis, Liz, whatever you want me. Hopefully we'll get I love you, but my heart says no at some point. You know, that's
yes.
Thing. I have a list now in my head of manifestation. We're going to have your solo EP. We are going to do a solo album. We're going to have the Janis Goblin and Janis's girl band.
Maybe
EP.
I love you, but my heart says no. Alternative rock cover should be on my EP.
God, yeah. 100%. 100%.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Of course.
In whatever form it's going to be, we are going to listen to this song by the end of the year. We are going to get it.
Yeah, even if it's an acoustic cover from me, we'll make it work.
100%. 100%.
A lovely little acoustic moment, you know. Yeah, stunning.
That's my Christmas number one.
I know another song that will end up on my Spotify Wrapped. Well, thank you again so much for joining, and thank you, lovely listener, for listening to this other episode of Wholala. You can reach out to us on all of our social media. We're at WholalaPod everywhere on Blue Sky, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Email us wholalapod@gmail.com, and you can also rewatch old episodes of the podcast on our YouTube channel, including our interview with the fans from Lux.
Yes, you can. If you enjoyed this week's episode, you can rate us 5 stars. We really do appreciate it. You can buy us a coffee, ko-fi coffee, and you can, of course, share the podcast on your story with a friend. That also really helps the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the reality war, and we will see you next week for the finale.
See you next week, and we'll see you if you are going to be in a central London view. We'll see you there.